Hey guys, welcome back to the Science Kid. Today we're going to be talking about magnets. So magnets are an object that attracts and repels other objects that are not charged. Now, it may not look like it, but this is a magnet. Now, even though it's not your standard horseshoe magnet, I mean this is an arrow shape, it still is a magnet. Let me prove it to you. So these are some, standard paper clips or whatever. I'm just gonna take some in my hand. Look at what happens when I do this. They stick on there just fine. It's definitely a magnet. So with our magnet right here, I'm going to tell you something really special about magnets. But first, I gotta tell you something a little about atoms. So atoms, as you probably know, have electrons in it. Now, in a standard object, the electrons all spin equally in different directions. But with a magnet, it's a little bit different because on both sides, there's either a couple more on one side or a couple less on the other side, which causes it to have the positive and negative ends of the magnet. And basically which create the poles, like the north and south pole of the Earth, which pulls us down because of gravity. And so this all basically works because of fields. So a field is a space which a magnet will affect other places in its magnetic field. Like for example, like when I drop these on here, if I have it here, it's gonna attract because its magnetic field is slightly larger or whatnot. But if I have this somewhat smaller magnet, if I hold it here, it's not gonna do it. But if I come closer, then it will do it, because the smaller it is, the smaller the magnetic field is going to be. Now, the norm for magnets is that its electronic field pretty much only affects metal. Like if I do it to my hand, if I do this, it's not going to stick to my hand at all whatsoever. It's going to continue to stick to this, but it's not going to stick to the magnet at all whatsoever. So it only affects metal, basically. Now, there's a special kind of magnet that is called an electromagnet. And this kind of electromagnet really only works with electricity. Now, with this kind of magnet, right, I don't have an off and on switch. There's no electricity going through this. It's a magnet that's going to work no matter what time you use it at. It could be at 2 a.m. It could be right now. It still works exactly the same. But with an electromagnet, it's a little bit different because it's basically controlled with the electricity. With an electromagnet, it's a battery source or an electric source that is powering a metal rod, which, like in the junkyards, takes the gigantic cars and it lifts them because it's a really strong magnet. So now I'm gonna show you how to make one. Let's cut to it. Okay, so this is what our electromagnet is going to look like, this thing. Now I have this undone here because when you do it, it gets very hot. So I have gloves. Now these are baseball gloves and they work just fine. So you can use pretty much any glove, but I don't know. It's really hot sometimes. It's like sometimes if you don't use the right tape or the right battery, like if the battery's too strong, then it'll basically start smoking. And then that's when you want to take the tape off and, try using some other materials. So the first thing I'm going to do is tell you the materials. So what you're going to need is some kind of battery. I'm going to cover up the name of it because I'm not sponsored. But you pretty much need a D-sized battery. And you can use pretty much any kind of battery, but in my opinion, the D battery works the best because it's the most powerful. Then you need some copper wiring, or I think this is some kind of steel wiring, but it also works just fine. Then you need some electrical tape to keep it on, like that's what this thing is. And then you also need an iron nail. And you're gonna need this because, like I said earlier, you need to have an electric charge flow through some kind of wiring to an iron object. And so basically that's all the materials. And if you cannot rip off tape, then you need scissors, and if you cannot whip off wiring, then you need these clipper thingy-majiggers. These clipper thingies. So, with all this, let's start making it. So the first thing that is going to be necessary is you're going to need to take your battery and you're going to place it here. I'm going to put the scissors out of the way really quick. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to get quite a bit of this stuff. Quite a bit of it. So you want to unwind it a couple times. I'd say that's going to be okay. Yeah, about like 1 foot, I don't know, something like that. And then this is what you're going to use these little clipper things for. You want to open them up and you just go. Okay, I did it. Okay, so we have our almost 1 foot long amount of wiring. Now I can get rid of this, and I don't need that anymore. Now, we're gonna focus on the iron nail now. So we have our iron nail. I'm gonna move this out of the way a little bit so you can see it better. But what we wanna do, as you can see from right here, it's wrapped around the nail and then there's bits poking out on the both sides so that it can connect to the battery. So what you wanna do is you wanna leave, I don't know, 2 inches, 3 inches, and then you wanna start taking it and you wanna start wrapping it around the iron nail as tight as you possibly could do it. Because the tighter it is, the more, like, the closer together it's gonna be. So even if you have little mistakes, just try to fix it by, like what I just did. I had a mini mistake, you probably couldn't see it. But you just continue to wrap it until you get a majority of the iron nail covered, and you wanna have almost equal size on both sides at the same time. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, it's about equal now. So when it's done wrapped around, the one looks like this. Now you take your battery, and basically this is going to connect unless you have like super powers and you can hold really hot stuff, which I am incapable of doing, like with your fingers. I've seen people do that. I have no clue why they do that, and you probably shouldn't do that, but some people do it. So we're gonna use electrical tape, and I need to take this glove off because I cannot get the tape off on my own. Okay, now that you got your 4 pieces of arm, I said 4 pieces of arm, 4 pieces of tape, I can't talk, 4 pieces of tape stuck on your arm, then you want to take it and start connecting the nail to the battery. Like I said, this is going to get really hot, so what I like to do is to move one side out of the way, just so it doesn't accidentally connect, because it gets really hot. And I recommend doing this side first, the side with the part protruding out of it, the positive side first, because it is somewhat harder to do. So I'm gonna take this part here, and it's not gonna make any weird noises. Oh wow, I probably shouldn't have done that. It's not gonna like start burning when you only do one side, because it only starts burning because electricity often produces heat. So you wanna take your tape, and you wanna take your bit of wiring, you're gonna put it on top of the other bit, on top of the tape. Oh my gosh, you're just totally disconnected. And you're gonna take this and you're gonna stick it right on top of there. Just like that. It is stuck. And then, like I said, just for the purpose of doing double tape, I'm going to take another piece of tape. That's 2 pieces. Here we go. 2 pieces of tape on top of each other, just so it doesn't start smoking. Okay, there we go. Now it's time to get into the bit where it may or may not go south. So these pieces are already stuck to each other. Oh, well, I guess that's good. So I'm going to bend this part back now so that we can connect it. And this is going to be really simple because it's a flat side, so you don't have to get it right on top of the other one. You want to make sure it's like connecting entirely. So I'm gonna move this down a little bit, and I'm gonna slap this right on there. Boom. And I did not connect it. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh. And it is connected. Yep. Okay. Now, hopefully, this is how it should look at the end of it, and I'm going to take some of these paper clips from earlier, and yep, I feel a bit of heat, so I'm gonna do this. Wait, let's see if I even got it to work. Nope, it's not connected yet. Hold on. And one trick to also get it to work, make sure you have a good battery, not a dead one, because you need electricity for this. Oh no. So close. Okay. This might be a dead battery. Okay, I'm gonna take all these on top of each other and just see what... Oh, there we go, it is working. Okay, I got one to stick on there. Sometimes only one sticks, and that's probably because your battery is already kind of weak. But you can see it is definitely sticking on. I'm not using magic. Oh gosh, it totally fell off. But now it should stick perfectly fine. There we go, let's see if I can load another one on there. Ah, they keep on falling off. But anyway, I got it to work. So all you really need is a battery, a nail, some wiring, and tape if you're not a superhuman. And so that's pretty much how to make it. So if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because we are trying to reach 200 by probably the end of the year, hopefully, if we can do it. And so I'll make sure to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.